I hope that if it's one thing that you take away from this, it's that people move mountains, not organizations. It takes breakthrough people who are willing to step out of tradition and out of day-to-day to make that change. And those people are everywhere. They're you. When I was in 4th grade, my teacher gave me the most awesomeness, coolest homework any 4th grader could ever get. It was Friday. And she was like, Tamara, class, here's what we're going to do. I want you to go home, and I want you to think about what you want to be when you grow up. Because on Monday, you're going to come to the class and you're going to present it. Yes. So I went running home, and I slammed open the kitchen door, and I looked at my mother, and I was like, cancel all play dates. I have work to do. Because I was a dramatic child as well, apparently. So I spent all weekend writing down until I finally nailed it. And I was the first to class, I was the first in my seat, and I was the first to raise my hand. And I got up in front of the class, and I had that dirty, dark green chalkboard behind me, with yesterday's history lesson on it. And I had that low seats of all my classmates in it. And I mustered all my 4th grade energy, and I looked at the class, and I said, I'm Tamara, and when I grow up, I want to be president of the United States of America. And then I looked down, waiting for the applause that obviously was going to bust out. But instead of applause, I heard laughter. So I looked up to the teacher for the save to tell the other kids to stop it, but she was the one laughing. And thank you. It's very long overdue. And she looked at me in her big muumuu dress that I'm pretty sure was hiding like 10 other kids. And she looked at me and she said, oh, Tamara, that's ridiculous. You can't be president of the United States. You weren't born in this country. The rule is you have to be born in this country, so you need to go home and find another dream. So I went home, devastated, dragging my feet the whole way, and I walked into my dad's office. He happened to be working from home that day, and I said, is it true? Can I really not be president of the United States because I was born in Israel? And he said, he was busy doing something, and he looked up at me and he goes, without missing a beat, yeah, that's true, that's the rule. He went back to what he was doing. And as only a 4th grade girl can do, I went into hysterics, and I vowed I wasn't talking to my friends, I wasn't talking to my teacher, and I certainly wasn't talking to my dad for the rest of my life. But as I was walking out, my dad looked at me and he goes, Tamara, don't be ridiculous. If you don't like the rule, bend it. Go upstairs, write down the rule, erase the part you don't like, and put in something that works better for you. Now, it's true. I was born in Israel. We moved here when I was 5, so I technically cannot be president of the United States, and frankly, right now, I'm pretty happy about that. But when I look back to my dream, it wasn't about being president. It was about making change in the world. And when I bended the rules, I created something new. And my dad doesn't even remember that story, ironically, but it always stuck with me. And I've been trying to live my life bending the rules. Let's play with that a little bit. Just stand up for a second, turn to a partner, and I want you to play rock, paper, scissors the way you did when you were a kid. Just best 3 out of 5. I got one question. Why? Why is rock, paper, scissors the way it is? Seriously. Why? Why does paper beat rock, and why does rock beat scissors, and why does scissors beat paper? Because that's how we've always done it, isn't it? I didn't have to tell any of you how to play, did I? No, we all know how to play rock, paper, scissors. It's how we've always done it. It's rules. It's tradition. But those kind of rules, what are they anyway? They're typically just somebody else's way of doing things. It doesn't mean it has to be ours. That's what it feels like when we're bending the rules, when we're trying new things, when we're challenging the assumptions that we have as we go through our day-to-day life. Now, so why, if this feels so good, so right here, why don't we do it more in our day-to-day lives? Why? Time. Yeah, it feels like we're always up against the clock. What else? Energy, like it feels exhausting, doesn't it? Like you want me to think differently? Oh, God. Okay, here I go. Can you see it in action? Go ahead. Right, we're stuck. Go ahead. We're waiting for permission. Yeah, so that's the big gauntlet down tonight, isn't it? Don't ever wait for permission, because you certainly don't have to. I think it actually has to do with bungee jumping. I do. So I was rattling along the Costa Rican highway with my friend in our rented Jeep that was more duct tape than it was anything else. And as we're driving along, we came across this hand-painted sign across the road, and it said, "Bungee jumping, next right." So we veered off the highway, and we followed dirt paths this way and that until we ended up at a dilapidated shack and an abandoned bridge. Now, we happened to get there the same time as two other travelers, clearly also looking for some off-the-beaten-path adventure. And as we all got out of our cars in our matching lightweight REI travel gear, we walked over to the abandoned shack, we signed in, and then we made our way over to the rusty bridge. And this man greeted us with a big pearly white smile and a heap of equipment at his feet. And he looked at the four of us and he said, "Who wants to go first?" So we all looked at each other over the railing at the very, very deep ravine where all I could see were these massive boulders with this trickle of water. Back at each other, back at the ravine. Let's just say I didn't argue when the other pair said they'd go first. No. And I watched them, one by one, jump off the bridge in total terror, but come up with a look of sheer joy on their face. And then it was my turn. I don't remember getting geared up. I was numb with fear. I don't remember the guy putting the straps around my ankles. I don't remember him attaching those straps to the ropes, which ultimately attached to the bridge. I came to as I was being hoisted up onto the railing with nothing to hold on to. My legs were shaking violently, and my heart was pounding so hard that you could actually see it through my shirt. And the nice young man looked up at me and he said, "All right, Tamara, on the count of 3, you're going to jump up and away from the bridge." So I thought, okay, I can do this. Jump on 3, jump on 3. I started chanting to myself, jump on 3. And then he started to count. 1, 2, and I jumped! I couldn't wait 1 second longer. If I had waited 1 second longer, I would have jumped back down to the safety of the bridge. And I promised myself, as I was being hoisted back up that day, that I would never forget that all it takes is 1 second. 1 second is the difference between leaping to new heights and jumping back down to the things that we've always been doing. It just takes 1 second for a dream to die. 1 second for a great idea to be brushed under the rug. And as innovators, as disruptors in our industries, we need to jump on 2 and get out there and jump forward and not back.